JP8 Report. This is James Pierce with the JP8 Report, episode 248, Out of Touch. Good morning, everyone. Hope y'all are having a good day here. Just getting started. Checking my live feed. Okay, it's all going good. All right. Welcome to the JP8 Report. Before we get started, don't forget to click that follow button if you're already not a follower of the JP8 Report, and give us a like for the show, and then repost it if you can. Okay, I really appreciate it. And if while you're there, please share. Let's see. So we got that out of the way, and then I want to show y'all something. You know how the rage is out there of people going out and buying the Freedom shirts for Charlie Kirk. To remember him and stuff. I got mine in yesterday, but there's one issue. Like I watch a podcaster. He comes on at 8 a.m. Central, Graham Allen with Dear America. I had just bought this, and the very next morning he was talking on his show. He said only order from the charliekirkstore.com, and I even shared it on my podcast a couple of times also. But I had bought this right before he said that. Dude, I wear a 2XL, right? This is supposed to be a 2XL. Even says it in there, 2XL. You can't see it because of the light. There it is, 2XL. But if you look a little bit closer, you can't see it. Okay, never mind. But the word cotton is spelled C-U-T-T-O-N instead of C-O-T-T-O-N. I don't know where they made it, but I'd be like playing the Incredible Hulk if I put it on and immediately took it off, because that was not a pretty sight. So I gotta find someone. I think it's a large. I think it is. I'm pretty sure. Maybe even a medium. I was thinking extra small because that was tight. I was looking forward to wearing it this morning. So I still like when we ordered ours in the Charlie Kirk store. It was a couple days later. That's when we got the email to wait 10 to 12 weeks to receive ours. So that was the first week of September. No, middle of September. So middle of October is 4 weeks. Middle of November is 8 weeks. So we still have another month at the probably. Hopefully it comes in earlier than that. But I was looking so forward to having this. So always be careful what you buy on Facebook, because that was not a 2XL. All right. And I'm going to find a home for this guy. But I'm sure there's someone with a smaller body frame than me could actually wear that. I know that there's 4 people watching right now. Y'all are probably falling over dead laughing. Hopefully you're not driving when I'm saying this. Alright, so, and then the president's still in South Korea. He's supposed to meet sometime today, because it's Wednesday night in South Korea right now. So about 8 hours or so, it'll be Thursday morning. All right, so we'll get to that. And let's see, America 250. I got 2 letters to read this morning for you. For America 250, both of them are pretty good. First one I'm going to read is from John Adams to Abigail Adams. Get this situated a little bit more, okay? So, human nature, with all of infirmities and deprivation, is still capable of great things. It is capable of attaining to degrees of wisdom and of goodness which we all have reason to believe. Appear respectful in the estimation of superior intelligences, education makes a greater difference between man and man than the nature that has been between man and brute, the virtues and powers of which men may be trained by early education and constant discipline. Constant discipline. Where am I at here? Go back. Okay. Discipline are truly sublime and astonishing. Newton and Locke are examples of the deep sagacity that which may be acquired by long habits of thinking and study. May your common mechanics and artisans are proofs of this wonderful dexterity required by use. A watchmaker, in finishing his wheels and springs, a pen and a needle maker, and etc. I think there is a particular occupation in Europe which is called a paper strainer or linen strainer. A man who has long inhabited to use it shall sit for a whole day and draw upon paper fresh figures to be imprinted upon papers for rooms as fast as his eye can roll and his fingers move. And no two of his dark draughts shall be alike. The sarcasms, the Knights of Malta, the Army and Navy in the service of the English Republic, and many others are instances to show to what an exalted height of valor or bravery or courage may be raised by artificial means. It should be your care, therefore, and mine to elevate our minds of our children and exalt their courage, to accelerate and animate their industry and activity, to excite in them an habitual contemptness of meanness and abhorrence in justice and humanity, and an ambition to excel in every capacity, faculty, and virtue. If we suffer their minds to grovel and creep in infancy, they will grovel all their lives, but their bodies must be hardened as well as their souls exalted. Without strength and activity and vigor of body, the brightest mental excellencies will be eclipsed and obscured. That was a letter from John Adams to Abigail Adams, written in Philadelphia on the 29th of October 1775. All right, and then I got one more from a servant of George Washington. His name was Lund Washington. And it was written today in 1775 from Mount Vernon. And this is about weapons procurement and stuff. On Sunday last, I got 3 letters from you dated the 2nd, 7th, and 9th of October. Mrs. Washington, having a week before set off for New Kent. I, on Monday, sent Tom down with your letters to her. I expect her home immediately, as she has often declared that she would go to the camp if you would permit her. I wrote to Colonel Mason relative to the stopping the navigation of Potomac, and went myself to Alexandria, and there spoke to several gentlemen about it, and all agreed something should be done. I urged the necessity of setting about it immediately. Mr. Milner came here on Friday with a letter from you dated the 12th, with others for your brothers and Colonel Lewis. He said as he was desired to send them by express, not meeting to one readily, he brought them himself. I went immediately down to Colonel Mason and told him that you had wrote and showed him the letter relative to Connolly. which he desired he might be permitted to send immediately down to the Committee of Safety. I let him have it. He said, in consequence to my writing to him on the Monday before, he had wrote to several committees and others in Charles City, Maryland, about it. All agreed something should be done. Lower Cedar and other Charles City, Maryland about it, and should be Lower Cedar Point is the narrowest part of the channel in a proper place to erect a battery, but the water is 16 or 18 fathom deep and a very strong tide. They think it cannot be done there. Maryland Point, the channel is narrow and 18 feet water from shore. Indian Head is looked upon to be the best place, but it secures too small part of the river. I propose that some person should immediately go and sound the different parts that would lend the dispute where was the best place, as I should remember to hear Captain Boucher say he would undertake with 3 ships to stop the channel so that no ship of force could get up the river. I propose he should be immediately sent to and consulted upon it, but whether he has been replied to or I cannot tell. I shall urge the matter and do all that is in my power to prevail the people to set about a work of the kind. I propose to send to Philadelphia for some person who understood building the chevaux de frise, so that we might not be at a loss of it. I shall go to Alexandria tomorrow, and by the next post shall inform you what has been done in it, whether anything will be done at all. In my last letters I told you Mrs. Washington had packed all your papers and your books of accounts in a trunk the day she left home with which trunk I intend to send to Captain McCarty's. I told her she should be careful to tie the papers in bundles and put them carefully in, so there might not be any great confusion. The papers in bundles and put them in carefully, that they may not be in great confusion hereafter when they come to open. I suppose they are so. She chose to put them in herself. Whether she has put the whole of your papers in the trunk or I cannot say. She left me the key to your study that I might, if absolutely necessary, secure whatever was left there. But whether the desk contains papers of consequence or I cannot tell, nor shall I look into any part of it, or in any other part of the study without her being present, unless I find it absolutely necessary to do it. But so soon as she returns, I will endeavor with her to put everything in the best order I can, and to take some method of having them secured. You may be assured I will do everything that is in my power, not to secure your papers, but every other valuable thing that can be saved, even at the risk of my life, if necessary. I desired her when she went down to speak to Mr. Mercer or Colonel Taylor. That was to be done with Colonel Mercer's papers, as some people have applied to me about their bonds. John West applied to me for payment in part of a bond of yours to him of £100, which was due in September. He pressed hard for £40 and said he could not send his people over the mountains without it. I let him have it. Mr. Harper, a few days past, presented me your note of hand for 50 pounds and wanted the money. Mr. Wilson says he has your amount for 26 pounds on account of this is going into financial stuff here. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of stuff. There was something I read in here that Colonel Mason has been sick ever since you came home from the convention. He looks very badly. He is quite wore out in appearance. He seems very much disturbed that he may not be able to attend the committee of safety. I wish he was well. We want him much. He shall miss him if it pleases God to take him out of this world. I think 50 men, all well armed, might prevent 20 from burning Mount Vernon. Situated as it is, no way to get to it but up a steep hill, which is right. If you've ever been to Mount Vernon, you know where it's situated at. And if I remembered right, General Gates told me it could not be done by shipping. I wish I had the muskets. I would endeavor to find the men, black or white. That would at least make them pay dear for the attempt. I have since the erect of your letter wherein it is mentioned, but I will consider it and write to you hereafter about it. Tom and I went down to Mrs. Washington is not returned. I expect him on this day. This letter will go to Philadelphia to Mr. Milner, who sets off tomorrow morning. Curtis and his wife went down with Mrs. Washington. The people are rather better than when I wrote last. Niles is well, Webster sick, John Barry is dead. M. Sir, your affectionate servant, Lund, Washington. So that was a letter from Lund, Washington to General Washington, and it was the situation at hand. That's what's going on, and what he was planning to do to evac if he needed to. And Mrs. Washington has gone down the road for a while, and financial matters to people that are wanting money paid. It ain't like there's an ATM card back then, right? And then how he was planning to defend Mount Vernon if it was attacked. That's a long letter. There was some stuff that I didn't read. If you want to look for it, it's on founders.archives.gov /document/Washington/030-02-0236 pound or hashtag. All right. So that was a really good letter. We got those two done. We got to go over here. Come on. Like I said yesterday, PowerPoint is slow sometimes. All right. These are... Y'all got a preview what I'm going to talk about in a few. Okay, these are my buddies down here in Copper's Cove called the Dalmatian Texas Burgers, and they make homemade smash burgers in dogs in Copper's Cove, Texas. All their ingredients are homemade, including their buns. And they're open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 2, and from 5:30 to 7, unless they sell out. And they're located at Town Square behind bushes on the west side of Copper's Cove. And I had an armadillo burger yesterday. I thought I was going to die because it's been several days, but I got one. So I'm good now. All right. So if you get down there, check them out. Right. They got dogs, burgers. Look at that. Single burger, $6.50. You can get a double for $9 and a triple for $11.50. But I tell you, I'm a big guy, and I can't do more than a single burger. Okay. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. All right. So let's see. Where am I? They're out of touch. All right. So next on the list, the title of this podcast is Out of Touch, and I'm telling you, one thing I'm considering is I was listening to like I told you, I like to listen to Graham Allen, and him and Hot Seat Todd were both talking to everyone the other day, and they're considering just doing podcast name like the JP8 report, and just put episode 248 like what it is, and I might put America 250 on it, but stop naming it because you would not believe, after I get done writing up the podcast every evening, I have to sit down and look at my outline and figure out what I want to name the podcast. So if you some people are watching right now, if you agree with just not putting a title on it and just put like the JPA report in episode 248 or whatever number it is, let me know. Just put something in the chat. That'd be cool to do. And then let me think about it. I may go forward and do that too, because it sounds like a really good idea. All right, so speeding right along, Out of Touch. So I found an article in the New York Post from yesterday. Is that the percentage of Americans who believe the Democrat Party is, and I said Democrat Party, not Democratic. There's nothing democratic about the Democrat Party, is out of touch, has increased double digits over the past decade, with 70% indicating the party is disconnected from the issues that matters to voters. The Democrat Party is perceived to have overly focused on protecting the rights of undocumented immigrants or illegal aliens, and protecting the rights of LGBTQ plus people, alienating the voters who care more about secure borders and crime reduction. A survey released Monday by Welcome, that is a center-left group, okay, not a Republican group, not a far-right group. This is Welcome is a center-left group. To win elections, Democrats need to make the following changes. First, we need to focus more on issues voters do not think we prioritize enough: the economy, the cost of living, health care, border security, public safety. I guess you'd be called a Republican if you believed in all that. The focus less on issues voters think we prioritize too highly: climate change, democracy, abortion, and identity and cultural issues. Read the conclusion on Welcome's Deciding to Win survey. Well, if you focus on climate change, democracy, abortion, identity, and cultural issues, you would be called a Democrat. Okay? Don't fool yourselves, right? And then if you're a communist, you go further on where you want rent control, free busing, you want city-owned grocery stores, free health care, free food. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I'm talking about Madami right now. Oh, go figure. And AOC and Bernie Sanders and a countless slew of other Democrats that should be called socialists and communists. Go figure. But they are definitely out of control, and more people seeing the problem. I don't know what's going on in New York City right now, but it's discouraging to see what's going on, because Curtis Lewa should be leading that mayoral election. But I mean, if you look at it, there's RINOs at bay in there. And I'll talk about that in a minute. Let's see. But yeah, they thought they were being smart in that poll. Let's see. Where is? Oh yeah, there it is, right above it. Okay, Mamdani referred to DOJ on $13,000 of illegal donations. One of them was from his mom, of all people, but that was returned. And his campaign said most of the stuff has been returned and rectified with the FEC, or whoever the filing authority is. Because, like in Texas, we send campaign finance reports to the Texas Ethics Commission, right? And then some RINO Republican named Ina Kurnikov, she needs to be expelled from the Republican Party. She openly endorsed Andrew Cuomo instead of getting out, knocking on doors, and getting people to the polls to vote for said Republican candidate Curtis Sliwa. And she represents the 48th district in Brooklyn, right? So I know I'm in Texas, but this lady, I don't know what kind of Republican she thinks she is, but she's doing the Republican Party a disservice by actually endorsing a Democrat, right? And she's an elected Republican. I mean, okay, I can look. I'll put it like this: if a normal, everyday Joe or Jane that's independent or left or right-leaning person goes out and votes for someone of the opposite party, got it, 10 bags full, right? But if you're elected Republican, you should be voting for a Republican, right? Because you represent that party. All right. Next. So I got here. Okay, got it. I dropped this. So last night, Oversight Committee came out with a deal, said all the auto pin pardons and EO's executive orders that were signed by the auto pin should be considered invalid, and they referred it to the Department of Justice. All right, that came out yesterday. All right, next, and I just read that this morning. And then where is it? There we are. Okay, next is now we know everything. That came from President Trump. And let me toggle over to it. All right, this came out on True Social last night. What's worse, the NBA players cheating at cards, and probably much else, or the Democrats cheating on elections? The 2020 presidential election being rigged and stolen is a far bigger scandal. Look at what happened in our country when a crooked moron became our president. Now we know everything. I hope the DOJ pursues this with as much gusto as befitting the biggest scandal in American history. If not, it will happen again, including the upcoming midterms. No mail-in or early voting. Yes to voter ID. Watch how totally dishonest the California prop vote is. Millions of ballots being shipped. Get smart, Republicans, before it is too late. And I like how it says it in all caps. Get smart, Republicans, before it is too late. What the president is saying, stop the infighting in the Republican Party. That's a big thing. But like he said, no more drive-through voting like they had in Houston. No more ballot drops, right? Or harvesting. No more electronic voting, all in person by paper. No more mailing ballots. and no more counting ballots with blackout periods where nobody can watch you count said ballots, right? I'd like to see what comes out about this and what he was talking about. That would be crazy. All right, I marked that a second. Okay, so as you saw on some of my preview unintentionally because my PowerPoint froze up on me. What's her name? Abigail Spanberger is running for governor. She's a Democrat in Virginia, and all the stuff that's been going on with Jay Jones with his 116 miles an hour and his text messages and stuff like that. Well, this is her campaign bus, right? And as you can see, it's pretty cool. They got texted number. Don't text that number, please. Election day, we all know it. Abigail Spanberger for governor. Yeah. And this is Hashmi for lieutenant governor, which I guess is this lady. And then look at this, Jay Jones for attorney general. That'd be this gentleman. Don't let him drive that bus, Miss Spanberger, because he may get a speeding ticket. But this is the new one she just picked up. All right, has the texting number. Remember, don't text that number. Election day, Abigail Spanberger, governor. Don't go to that website either. Where is the lieutenant governor's name and where is the attorney general's name? It seems like she erased them from history. That she doesn't want to ride their coattails when they go in and vote. When you live a lie, are you going to eventually get caught up in said lie? Just so you wanted to, I want to let y'all know if you're in Virginia watching the podcast or watch it later on. All right. So we'll go back. Okay. So we got that done. Amazing what a little bit of paint, like lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig, right? And then let's see, day 29 of the Schumer shutdown. Yesterday they had a 13th cloture vote. It failed 54-45. Wow! And then Senator Thune actually tried to put a fix in her for SNAP benefits. But the Democrats still voted not to achieve cloture, which they needed 60 votes, right? Secretary of Agriculture, SecAg, Brooke Rollins, she's from Stephenville, Texas, which is approximately 75 to 100 miles from here, which is really cool, right? Have someone from Central Texas in the federal government like that. She was saying SNAP, which is the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, cost $9.2 million a month, right? And it's set to expire on 1 November. It's $99 billion a year for SNAP, but it's about to run out, and the Democrats wouldn't allow it to be passed through cloture so the government could be reopened. So try it again today, I guess. I can tell you right now, I got an email from my bank, and I received my VA disability, and I received my Army retirement check. It's deposited. So I got all my money for the month of November. So I'm good on that part. But there's millions of other people, including my son-in-law, that's going to be missing money at the beginning on Friday, and the federal government people missed a full month paycheck yesterday, right? The Democrats just need, like I said yesterday, vote for cloture, right? and then let the Republicans do the rest. I mean, sooner or later, we have to come to our senses. Are you going to continue to let people hurt? Or are you going to do your legislative duty and pass legislation so the president can actually sign it? Not by auto pen, but by Sharpie. Okay? That's a little bit more of what I was going to say about it. But and then I need to speed a little bit along here. I'm not going to talk. Yeah, I will. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Dan Crenshaw, I guess they're nervous about the shutdown, and they're voicing concerns on a private call with the Speaker of the House, in which the Speaker told her that her being vocal is how is it going to okay, let me read that, how I wrote it down. Speaker told her that her being vocal toward him isn't helping the issue. You know where she needs to be vocal at? She needs to be vocal to the Democrats. They won't vote to open up the government, right? And same thing with Mr. Crenshaw, right? Act like Republicans. Let's see. The president is in South Korea for more meetings, and the day's Wednesday, so later on this evening will be Thursday. He's supposed to be meeting President Xi from China to talk about the soybean stuff, the TikTok purchase, and rare earth agreements. Toyota said that they're going to invest $10 billion in plants in the U.S., and there was some type of agreement. I didn't write it all down, but Japan agreed to invest another $550 billion into the U.S. economy, right? President was saying last night, wow, I was falling asleep because I couldn't hold my eyes open, that by the end of this year, investment into the United States would be about $21 trillion, I think it was the number. But that's a lot. That's a lot. He also met yesterday on the USS George Washington aircraft carrier. Things like 4.5 acres, huge. The flight deck is. He was meeting with the U.S. military on there. Now, the USS Washington, just so you know, is the only forward deployed aircraft carrier in the United States, right? That's huge. I've never been on an aircraft carrier, but I live on 3/4 of an acre, and it takes me like 8 hours to, not 8 hours, but a long time to mow it. I can imagine 4.5 acres. I'm glad that thing's solid still. Did y'all know that aircraft carriers used to be wooden decks on them? Just keep your VOD knowledge. Sorry about that, people. Biden says the dark days of democracy are under Trump. I mean, I would like to ask Mr. Biden what happened to the last 4 years, right? Or wait a minute. Let's not ask Mr. Biden about the last 4 years. Let's ask President Autopen, right? I can't get over that. So he went on TV yesterday and gave a speech somewhere or a statement, and he declares we're in the dark days because Trump is president. And let's see, we got that. I still got some election stuff for Texas I want to show y'all real quick. But first, I'm going to skim over this real quick because it's like 5 pages long. This is Texas politics also. Representative Jasmine Crockett owns stocks in at least 25 companies that she did not disclose to the public during her first congressional run in 2022. Even though she quietly admitted to the holdings the previous year when she was a Texas state legislator, Crockett also didn't reveal the stock holdings once she got to Washington in 2023. The far-left firebrand's impressive financial portfolio, remember she's a Democrat and what she stands for, according to the records obtained by the Washington Free Beacon through a public records request, clashes with her image as an eco-warrior and beacon of progressivism. Further, Crockett, a self-described civil rights attorney and an active stakeholder in the cannabis business, seeking unsuccessfully to open marijuana dispensaries in Ohio, even as she represented as a defense lawyer a man accused of murdering someone in a marijuana deal gone bad. Both in the Texas State House and in Congress, Crockett has pushed for bills to decriminalize marijuana. The records obtained by the Free Beacon open a window into a personal financial life of Crockett, 44 years old, who says she supports herself. I have no husband, y'all, never been married, never been engaged. She told the interviewer in February, holding up her hands to emphasize the absence of a ring. I think she has personal problems, but not everybody gets married. I know that. Look at Lindsey Graham. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but the House's sophomore stock holdings, she's a sophomore because she's in her second term of Congress, includes stakes in several corporations that stood to benefit from actions she's taken as a lawmaker and legislation introduced in Congress, and others that stand in opposition to the image she's cultivated as a champion of green energy. Say one thing and do another. Where's the beat? Okay, we'll end it with this. I got two paragraphs. Okay. Crockett reported owning a sizable stock portfolio in her last financial disclosure as a Texas state lawmaker covering the 2021 calendar year, with stakes in a major pharmaceutical, fossil fuel, technology, automobile, and marijuana firms. But the potty-mouthed progressive, I like that, who said Wednesday she is strongly considering run for the Senate in Texas, I dare her, did not disclose owning any of these same stocks in her first congressional financial disclosure, which also covered her financial holdings during the 2021 calendar year. 25 undisclosed stocks in Crockett's portfolio include ownership of shares in Amazon, Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca, General Motors, Uber, DuPont, ExxonMobil, American Airlines, AT&T, Aurora Cannabis, Ford, and corporate cannabis and stocks worldwide, as records show. Crockett also reported in her last Texas financial disclosure owning debts of at least $110,000, none of which she divulged in her first congressional financial disclosure covering the same calendar year. You know what? It looks like something needs to be referred to the DEC or the FEC, because that's fraud. The candidates for Congress are required to file detailed financial disclosures. If victorious, they must file more disclosures when beginning their terms. False or incomplete financial reports can lead to civil and even criminal penalties. Man, I read some of this. I wanted to talk about it, but it was saying stuff that I was editorializing while I was reading it. Hey, cat. Have a cat come over and say good morning. All right, so that's your friend Jasmine Crockett, right? Okay, nothing on the headlines. Let me check something out real quick, and I'll do my last part. Let's see. Nope, not yet. Okay. All right. So the last part is in Texas. in Texas. They're in our current election going on right now. As of Monday night, when the last data was released, we have a 3.45% voter turnout for our constitutional election and school boards and stuff like that, right? Here in Coryell County, the voter turnout is 4.79%, and that's 2,153 voters for all of Coryell County. Under 5% turnout so far. That's bad. Now I'm going to show you the data. This is the part that shows where each individual entity is taking place right now. As you can see, Copperas Cove ISD, we have a school board election going on with for 3 seats, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candidates in between 3 seats right now, right? And you can see, and then there's a $165 million bond that they're voting on this in the next 2 weeks on Tuesday, November 4th. But as you can tell, look at the heavy voter turnout just for Copperas Cove ISD, and then compare it to everybody else. So we know where our voter turnout for this election would probably be quite lower if they didn't have the bond election, because that's driving force. And now, let me go to the next slide. Okay, this is the regular slide, which shows the people in each that early vote in each place. Same thing, the early vote center, and then in Gatesville, I bet they're bored stiff up there. But 2,153. There have been 24 mail-in votes. They could be just absentees. The mail-in ballots begin slim here in Copperas Cove. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on there. Let me go back to my live shot. Now, if you are voting in Copperas Cove, evidently there's about 1,600 people in Copperas Cove that know where to vote. I had someone call me up yesterday about it. If you're in Cove, and if we have countywide voting anyway, but if you want to vote in Cove, you go. Your voting location is I forgot what I said. Oh yeah, if you go on the west side of Copperas Cove, where El Corral is, right beside it, there's the Penn Fed Bank building, and the county bought it, and they remodeled it. There's not a permanent sign on the back side of the building, but that is where the early vote center is. They got a couple of little sandwich boards out there, is what my party chair Norm Mitchell told me yesterday. He said it's like a 2-foot high sandwich board, like a bifold, right? And it says vote today on it, or vote here. That's where you go vote, right? He told me that Justin Carruthers said there will be a permanent sign on that building before the Texas primary on March 3rd, right? And there's not going to be a runoff election for the school board election, because it's first across the finish line for voting in the school board election. There's no runoff. Highest vote gets the win. Like in place 6, you got Heather Copeland, Lisa Tring, and Moose Smith. And so there's 3. So there's no 50% plus 1. It could be 28%, 25, and 25, something like that. That doesn't equal 100, but close enough. But the one who gets the most votes wins, right? And I'm supporting Samantha Wilson for place 4, Bradley Vaughn place 5, and Carl Moose Smith for place 6. All right. So we are. How far along are we? Well, we're at 50 minutes. Okay, let me give you a location. My socials. I'm on X. I'm live on X right now at James Pierce Jr. I'm on Facebook at James A. Pierce Jr. I have a sub page also. It has I believe a come and take it flag on it, I believe, but I'm live on it right now. And if you want to send me an email, send it to the JP8report@gmail.com. And I tell you what, I'm trying to simulcast on the YouTube, but I don't have enough subscribers on YouTube right now. I think I have 11. You got to have 50 to be able to go live on YouTube. I'm not saying leave Rumble to go watch it, but if you just go over there at the JP8 Report 67 is the actual page. The JP8 Report 67 is that's the YouTube page. Go there, click subscribe, so I can get over that 50 subscriber level, so we can start attracting more people to see how long I survive on YouTube before they strike me out, because they don't like conservatives, right? That's why I broadcast on Rumble. All right, so let me check one more time over here. I didn't meet the requirements for live. Okay. All right, so tomorrow 6 a.m. same bad time, same bad channel. So I am done for the day. So unless someone has a question for me, I don't see it. That'd be great. I got 8 people watching right now, which is awesome. 2 more, and I could have done a Rumble ad for y'all. But I'll try again tomorrow, right? And let me know in the comments or whatever, the hard comments, if you like the idea of me just doing the JP8 Report episode 248 and without the rest of the title stuff to the right of it. All right. And don't forget to follow the JP8 Report. Don't forget to click the like button, and please repost. All right. So this is James Pierce with the JP8 Report. I'll catch you on the flip side. I'm out.